carrying coffins.
Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 1K World Cup 2026 presented by Joke. We are back with another round of 16 matchup for you guys here today. It is going to be France taking on Norway to see who will be advancing to the quarterfinals in the winners bracket. As always, my name is Sparky, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a solo job here in the commentary booth today. Maybe joined by somebody else later on down the line, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. For now, we can get right on into the match. It looks like the players have already rolled. If you are new to this iteration of the 1K World Cup, there are no protects, no bans. Everything in the map pool is up for grabs. And it looks like France wins the roll, so they'll be picking first in this matchup. Be interesting to see what they decide to go for here. If you've kept track of the rosters, France have a full complement of 4 players to go into. Norway only riding the 2 players. Zickwitz and Crossbow gonna have to play everything whether they want to or not. And the fact that there aren't any bans in this iteration, it could spell some potential pain points. I always look to the SV pick whenever bans aren't allowed as being a prime target for kind of picking on players, but not going to be the case here. So France not wasting any time. They're going to go for hybrid 2 to start things off. So we'll see which of the 2 players from France are going to step up to play this particular pick. A lot of longtime faces on both teams have been in and around these iterations, or if not the actual Jay's 1K event. So no strangers to the format. It's just trying to make sure you have the balanced team composition needed to take on some of these picks. And right on cue, right as we're about to get into this first map, we're joined by Epic Man 2. How's it going, man?
I'm genuinely traumatized right now. I just witnessed one of the most scariest matches in my own tournament, but
I figured. I was like, I was telling everybody that was watching, it's like, I'm gonna be here by myself. I'll be joined in a couple minutes, probably, but I imagine that was something to recap for later. For now, I mean,
yeah,
you gotta do a complete 180. 4 keys down to 1, and we're going into hybrid 2 here.
Yeah, what a stark contrast from the other, as we are back again with the 1K World Cup once more, and we're continuing on with our round 16 matches as usual. So, once again, still got some more matches banging. So, we hope to see how this one goes, as this is a match between none other than France versus Norway. So, this is going to be a bit of an interesting one. 4-man team versus a 2-man team at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to mention at the top of the broadcast, this is a doubleheader. There is the United States A team going up against France 2. So both French rosters actually playing at the moment. We'll provide some updates on that as it progresses. But for right now, I mean, France off to a really good start on this particular pick. Just separated by accuracy alone. I imagine the release timings on Norway's end on these LNs causing some trouble in regards to maintaining good accuracy. And as things begin to pick up once again, Crossbow picking up the first miss in the lobby. Audrey trading it back though, so not the most amount of damage that could be done, but 30,000 points of cushion is a pretty hefty lead to scratch at with half the map left to go here.
Exactly, and especially so far with the likes of, I believe this is Hybrid 2, isn't it?
Yes, Hybrid
right?
2.
Okay, so far, it seems like the score lead for the side of France is looking really strong, just going off the fact that Zickwitz is basically kind of collapsed, so is Crossbow. It doesn't seem like either Crossbow or Zickwitz is able to mash out Adri or Patel's on when it comes to a lot of the release factor that is embedded within this one alone, because especially for this one, there's a lot of triplet control that you really need to try and hit. Even with a miss that comes out from the side of the French, man, it's just gonna come down to being so clean you can't even make the table dirty. Even the dirt feels like decoration.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of running away with this one. The transition into this KI is pretty abrupt. You have a bit of smooth sailing, some standard Ellen Rice patterning, and then you get into this section where it's just constant bursts up until the ending, taking both Norwegians for a bit of a ride here, and France, the beneficiaries of it, looking very calm, cool, and collected, despite the miss, but 2 still holding on to the highest accuracy in the lobby. Just goes to show how ready they were for this pick, and France picks up their opening point, making it 1-0 here.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
that's tragic.
One to make. Oh, wait, what happened?
V1SS with a miss.
What? Oh, that's
I'm telling
wonderful.
you, it is punishing in 1K. Like, that's a what, like
exactly.
Maybe a 994K score right there from Patu. One miss, lose 20,000 points immediately.
Precisely. That's just the caliber of performances that we just anticipate within a tournament like this, where you literally have 3 keys gone. So all you have is just one. And so much of these misjudgments or any human mistake that's made all throughout is literally just amplified to an absolute 1,000, where you just cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever if you want to aim for that perfect score in the lobby. Looking to impress your friends, baby? Don't mess up. That's literally the main aim of the game at this point, as we go Rice 1 afterwards.
Yeah, Rice 1 feels like a very safe pick for Norway, just raw Rice consistency, and seeing if maybe if you eliminate the LNs, they can show off what they're made of when not having to worry about release timings. I feel like that might have been the major tripping point on Hybrid 2. If you manage to get rid of those and it's just raw patterns, should be fine. So this will be a good test to see whether or not Norway can stack up to France, because France does have some really good Rice accuracy players.
Absolutely. I mean, France is definitely one of those countries that has a lot of players that do kind of delve into some of these more obscure kind of tournaments that have a bit of a more unique flair to them when it comes to the actual gimmick. This one being kind of revolving around how you have only one key to hit, and that one key alone is literally pushed to the absolute to the absolute maximum. I mean, this is literally why we have like advice channels in the Discord server where you literally need to buy like where you need to discuss like some of these key caps that you use for matches like these where it gets really dense. But going into some of these streams or something, Crossbell and Zikwitz will pick up first blood, as it's going to be an early 3,000 point lead for the side of France.
Yeah, a couple hiccups here and there. These 1/4 bursts not treating Crossbow or Zikwitz too nicely. Only the misses being traded back by losses in accuracy. I feel like France takes that trade any day of the week. Crossbow finding another drop, just not able to establish a bit of a foothold here. And I mean, France, once again, just the beneficiaries of its 70,000 points through this introduction. 3/4 of the map left to go here. And with this level of accuracy, it's just going to grow from here. And once they cross that 400 combo cap, they're going to have so much free time in the back half of the map to just kind of stretch their legs and run with the score as we finish up this first half.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, especially for the likes of Crossbell and Zikwitz, they're pretty much up and running with a map like this. However, Lizozian and Patos are literally on rocket scooters right now with how they're just maintaining full combos on these patterns and not looking to flinch much when it comes to a lot of these really dense transitional rhythms between a lot of these streams. And especially for Lizozian being the lower accuracy of the side of France, Patos is literally the breadwinner of that team in particular, with how they're just upholding the accuracy to insurmountable amounts at 99.94%, and they're gonna try to continue that going into the final quarter if there ain't any mistakes to be seen.
Little nasty transition out of that section for Patu, dropping that 99.9%. I mean, just a couple of 200s, I'm sure they'll take that, but I mean, just a level of consistency on these Rice picks that both Zoyan and Patu have been showing is something to commend here. Crossbell and Zikwitz in their own right, able to reestablish a foothold in this map after some shaky starts here, kind of maybe just settling in, getting rid of some early nerves here. And yeah, the scoreline might say it's a France stomp on this point, but I mean, it was a good effort.
Exactly, and even in boys like these, there's always a good effort. That's pretty much one of the most important things you can really look out for in matches such as these that we always have in the early game, where, you know, there's going to be one team that pretty much will look to try and stump whatever is in their way, whatever tries to feel their wrath. And especially for Norway, they're not out of the woods. They still have some relatively good and consistent performances, while Zikwitz is at least halfway there to the schools that have Patos and Lizozian. So that's going to be a 2-0 point difference for the side of France for the time being, as it is their pick to make next. So they still have, honestly, all the options on the board that they could just go for all in out. I don't think there's even a single pick they even feel anxious going into at this point, because I think they probably would assume, or be led to assume, that each and every one of these picks is pretty much fair game, because they have the Rice capabilities, they have the hybrids, but they're going to go for the speed pick on that note. However, try and double down on that.
Yeah, shortest map in this pool has I think, what, like 600 notes in it? So it's like if you miss anywhere in the middle, you're just never getting back on that 400 combo cap. It's a double-edged sword of a pick, but with the way Zozoyan and Patu have been handling these harder bursts, I imagine they're kind of picking this, one, for the speed, for the length of it, and two, knowing that they might just have a raw physical advantage over Crustball and Ziquids. So kind of just not delaying anything further, just pushing the envelope in terms of the Rice advantage, Rice accuracy advantage that they have at the moment. I mean, that being said, I mean, anything can change. Who knows? Crustball and Ziquids could just pull something out of the bag. Zozoyan or Patu could misread a pattern. And like I said, not a lot of notes to work with in this map, so misses are going to be very detrimental in comparison to some of the other maps in this pool.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, especially with a lot of the teams that we've seen all throughout this tournament and many other ones that as well, considering that this is a franchise of its own that we're talking about. We've seen teams pull out basically anything out the bag. It's just like that one scene from JoJo where there's literally a pistol that comes out of an envelope. But as I say that, Ziquids literally is going to take the first drop of the map once again. This map features a little more of these technical burst transitions that can be really hard to transition to, especially some of these 1/6, 1/8 blast that you get with a song like Bengal, for example. If you are maybe a little acquainted with the likes of Symbolic songs, then they can definitely leave a bit of an impression, as Lizosian is also going to reciprocate that miss, but it's not going to mean enough for the time being.
Yeah, it's one of those heart and mouth misses where it's like you feel like you just miss on air and you get really anxious potentially. But I mean, picking up right where they left off, still in that 99% mark, Ziquids trades that miss back before too long. And like I said, there's only a couple hundred notes in this map, so I don't think Ziquids is gonna have enough time to get back over the 400 combo cap, especially with that miss there. Crustball doing everything that they can, but these bursts are taking them for a bit of a ride. Patu finally falls as well, so everybody, I believe, losing their FC minus Crustball by the looks of it, but just not having the accuracy to boot. But as I say that, everybody goes down, and I mean, France just being able to keep those misses cleaner, able to take this lead and run with it once again to devastating effect for now, and able to capitalize on that breakpoint from earlier, gonna make it an early 3-0 to start this match off.
Absolutely. When all falls down, all it really comes down to is just how well one team did for the good majority of the map. And of course, that's got to go to France for this pick. I mean, we literally see they got over 200,000 points over the differential because these patterns just were way too difficult for the likes of Crustball and Ziquids combined to even manage. I mean, Crustball still closer by at least able to manage with these patterns a lot, despite a lot of the misaccuracies, a lot of the misjudgments that are thrown here and there, especially almost matching the ratio. We've got closest to Lizosian by only about, what, 60 perfects, if anything. It's just really the misjudgment game that really shifts the tides a bit and basically makes things all the more difficult for Norway to be able to try and at least equalize themselves with the likes of France, as it is going to be their next pick, as it does look like. Okay.
Our referee got baited. Andre comes in and is like, hey, can you pick Hybrid 1? And
bro, what? Oh, that's lovely.
The actual pick from Norway is going to be Rice 3. We'll erase that.
Bye, Hybrid 1. Hope we see you again later, I guess.
Yeah.
Over the limit it is. We appreciate you more.
That's mean. If I had $1 for each time I've seen that happen, I'd have like $5 at this point.
I mean, at that point, you could literally just buy a Tesco meal deal with only $5. That's literally like £3.85 if you were to convert it from USD. So, even has enough. Every little helps, bro.
Yeah, especially in this economy. I'll take what I can get.
Exactly. At a time like this, it's literally like the strongest necessity that we have at this point. Like, there's just no debate whatsoever, as this is pretty much the thing that Norway is going to need as well. Even the littlest of misses is going to help for their side, if it does come down to at least facing a golden team such as France, for example. Except we've seen from many of these performances earlier on, it's going to have to take an absolute meltdown for France to be able to go down, if anything.
Yeah, it would have to take, like you said, just a meltdown, it feels like, at this point, where maybe just catching misses here and there, just little mental errors is just something, anything for Norway to kind of latch onto here. See if they can get a strong start on this one.
Indeed, going into the intro, it starts relatively moderate with a lot of these triplets, some of these blasts being thrown out in between, just mostly following the drums at that point. Not much you can really gather from this intro alone, as this does go on for an egregious 3 minutes of length, whether that is going to be good information for the likes of First Bell Ziquids, or if that's just going to be another map to slaughter from the likes of Lazosian or Patos here, because they are up 10,000 points and just continuing to push that into Andre right now, going through a bunch of these blasts, and so far the Axie is good enough that they're at least securing a position in the higher end of the scoreline for now.
Yeah, full 2% difference between either player and their Norwegian counterpart. That's basically the bulk of the lead here. 28,000 points just based off that alone. Like I said, it's very, very damaging, losing accuracy in 1K, and we're seeing it come to full fruition here. 15,000 points between both players, adding up to this lead for France with 2/3 of the map left to go here. Everybody holding on to their FCs, but gonna need some misses come up from France if Norway wants to start cutting into this one.
Yeah, precisely, and especially in a map like this where Norway has not even won a single point and is currently 3-0 in the advantage of France right now. It may as well just come down to the fact that they're going to have to be forced to win off some breakpoints either way. I mean, this is an early bracket round after all, so in a tournament, it's not going to matter way too much as long as, you know, they at least try and at least work their will with whatever can happen in the future, because, again, France is going to have to face similar demons as well. Perhaps swapping the tables, just turning them around in the later game, as First Bell will find that next drop, and Ziquids is right now in with the SC. If you end up missing that, I swear to Lord. Okay.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, even if France were to find a couple misses here, the score gap being more than enough cushion to work with here, and with a quarter of the map left to go, it really does fall out of the hands of Norway. They can build up as much accuracy as they want. The 1/3 transition into the slowdown, catching out Patu, which is interesting. They'll probably kick themselves for missing on that, but no harm, no foul at the end of the day. Picking up a couple of 100s as well with a quarter of the map left to go. Zoyan, the only one holding on to the FC for the French here, and the highest accuracy in the lobby now. Gonna be MVP performance from them if they can manage to hang on. And outro coming through here, 90,000 points. France looking primed to get that match point, and if one of their teammates coming in to throw out what the pick was going to be or what they wanted to play is any indication, I imagine Hybrid 1 might be the next pick going into this one. There's really nothing this team can't play that can offer any real fear for them, so that's wait and see what they decide to choose here.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the likes of France, we pretty much know, everyone and their moms pretty much already know by now that they're a team that pretty much demands for business no matter what it takes. Going at match point right now in this best-of-9 situation, there is still not a single sliver of advantage that Norway has at least managed to accumulate for themselves. They really did try and bring one for the Easterns here, as it does look like it does seem like our ref really wants them to pick Rice too. But they're going Hybrid 1. They refuse.
No, they are real insistent on this Hybrid 1. We'll have to see if it's if it's actually the case here.
I mean, can you even blame them at that point? I mean, Hybrid 1 is a bit of a banger, I want to say, as much as Rice 2 is also really cool. Yeah.
I don't blame them. I mean, hey, sometimes that little invisible buff of picking songs you like really makes a big difference. So.
Dude, precisely. It's just like, you know, one of the. It's just like maybe older, younger Mania players. Whenever they go to the gym, they're pretty much used to hearing like older metal songs or whatever. So imagine going into an actual match and hearing some of these metal songs we've been hearing throughout this map alone. I'd assume that must be one of the strongest skill boosts that the French could afford, as it does look like we're actually going to be seeing a swap out on the roster coming with Patos coming out in favor of Adri for the time being. The roster on Norway remains the same, although it's literally a two-man team, so how can it change?
Yeah, Yeah, I said it. It's all broadcast. Like they don't get to play everything whether they want to or not. So as you're checking in, I imagine just more so just so they can play this one. I don't blame them. Like you said, it's a bit of a banger. So see if Norway can do something about it. But so far, I mean, France has had all the answers to the questions being posed in this match. Very, very strong performance from them. Just very balanced overall. When one falls, the other one's there to pick up the pieces, and have to see how it progresses into the later rounds. Thankfully, with this being the opening round, there's no real consequence. Norway would potentially just go down to that lower bracket. Audrey finding the drop on the transition, but Zikwitz and Crustball answering back with misses of their own, gonna offset the opening mistake from Audrey, make it a 53,000 point lead with Zozoyan holding on to, once again, the highest accuracy in this lobby. Very, very impressive from them.
Yeah, the miss going up from Adri, and then as soon as Norway just saw that happen, they knew that they had an assignment to turn in. So Zikwitz and Crustball unfortunately taking it a little too early, as it is a miss coming out from both of them, and Zikwitz is just continually bleeding. Call this a crime scene the way we literally have the entire room painted a new shade of red, as it's literally another 100,000 point lead in the favor of France, and especially going to the back half, there's this, I have no idea. It's looking slim, I want to say, as much as I say it.
It's one of those where it's like, with the way France has been playing, you'd be hard pressed to think they can toss this one. But I mean, to Norway's credit, they've been putting their best foot forward. It's just one of those cases where the seed matchup does make a difference sometimes. I mean, there's a reason this French team seeded fourth in this tournament. It's like they've gotten progressively better and better every single year, it feels like, and really coming to a head here, qualifying nearly on the podium. No small feat given the quality of the top three teams in this tournament. It's a very scary roster they put together, and the fact that they have a B team also. So basically just multiple French players stepping up to the plate here to show off what they're made of. And as this one reaches its outro, a valiant effort. Norway gotta be able to run it back next week in the losers bracket, see if they can make some inroads. There are definitely teams that they can beat in this tournament. Just gonna have to put their best foot forward on a little bit of a harder map pool. But with that being said, that will do it for this match. A swift, decisive 5-0 for France to punch their ticket into the winners quarterfinals.
Absolutely. Couldn't have better said it myself, Sparky. So does seem like, from what we can gather here, is going to be a 5-0 sweep from France. Mic drop. Not really much else information you can really give. I mean, once again, Norway has pulled off some of the best efforts that they could have gone, and especially with, the likes of Zikwitz's consistency on Rice Free alone was definitely something that had some solid potential if you were to look at it a little closer. Like, even if you squint your eyes a bit, you could definitely see from the minute, detail that it definitely had some potential to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, being paired against a force too high for them to match, it's always going to be one of those situations where it's just really hard to be able to match up for them when the stakes are just this high in the early round, or even then, you're just pit against a team that's in an entirely different league to you.
Absolutely. And with that being said, the United States-France 2 match currently ongoing. It is 4-0 going on to the last pick was SV. And unless something crazy happens, I imagine that's going to be decided here within the next couple of minutes. So with that being said, there's only a couple matches left in the round of 16. It is going to be Peru going against Portugal in about 35 minutes, top of the hour. And then final match is going to be the United States, or Untied States. We got dyslexic there making the team name, versus Canada to see who will be rounding out that quarterfinals winners bracket lineup. So I don't know about you, man. I'm gonna be playing in that last one, so I need to get out of here.
Well, I wonder how it feels, dude. The fact that you're literally part of Team USB, how do you even connect with the Canadians, especially when you have to literally duel them?
Oh, we
have literally difficult.
We have history with the Canadians. This is actually a rematch from 2 years ago, so it'll be very interesting to see how it lines up. Completely different roster for USB. I think I'm the only one returning for the matchup, but it'll be interesting to see. I hope that one is exciting. I'm definitely bricking it, waiting for it. So until then,
hell yeah.
we'll go ahead and say our goodbyes here. Epic Man, thank you for joining us as always. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, thank you for joining once again, and we'll catch you in a bit. See you later.